William Ruto has raised concerns among a section of legislators who question the criteria the government will use to choose able and needy students. Now, the members of parliament further accusing the government for creating room for corruption in the education sector. Take a look.
The newly unveiled university and TVET's funding model aimed at benefiting students from extremely poor backgrounds has raised concerns, as a section of parliamentarians questioned the criteria in which the government would use to identify the most vulnerable and less needy students.
If you say a person is needy, how are you going to determine the neediness of this student? Somebody could be having two parents, but both parents are not working. That person is overqualified to be a needy and vulnerable student.
The lawmakers saying that the funding model is prone to abuse as it lacks the necessary mechanisms for checks and balances.
All students deserve full funding from the government. Rich students are studying abroad. Those studying locally are vulnerable and very needy. The government has just opened another mega corruption scheme where poor students will be asked for bribes in order to get full scholarships. There will also be tribalism, nepotism, and cronyism in determining who gets full scholarships and who don't.
We will not allow this particular formula to continue to marginalize young students, students from poor backgrounds who have always been beneficiaries of the help. This is a clear plan to con them, and we will not stand by to allow that. Students of this country need quality, accessible, inclusive education. And when I say inclusive, I also speak for the deaf students, for the disability students.
This as the Public Investments Committee on Governance and Education demanded that the government places all students qualified for university education in public institutions, a move they say will save the country in excess of 20 billion shillings.
If you walked into a public university today and you look into the infrastructure, it's really deteriorated. If you walk into a private university, the infrastructure continue improving. Why? Because the revenue stream for universities is mainly the number of students.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu, who appeared before the committee, was hard-pressed to confirm if the government will shift policy and ensure all qualified students are placed in public universities.
No government grant is going to a private university. That one, we have made it very clear from this year, and the placement is going to be as such. Unless you, probably a Kenyan who is able, and you say you want your child to go to a private university, that is the only way it is going to happen.
The new funding model for universities and TVETs will take effect this academic year and will commence with the new cohort of over 173,000 students joining universities. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.